Police arrest a woman on a street corner. And you might ask me, what was she doing, Brian? Was she threatening people? Was she damaging people's property? Was she flinging Molotov cocktails and burning tires in the street? Was she breaking out windows of businesses? None of the above. She was standing on a public street corner praying silently.
I'm not kidding, and I'm not exaggerating.
Roll the intro.
But here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
So here's the deal.
And here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Because here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Either give me your ID or you go to jail. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Here's the deal.
In pursuit of a Mazda heading south on 3 Points Road.
Hopefully everybody who views this will immediately recognize this for the atrocity it actually is. A woman gets arrested for, get this, just wait for it, silently praying. Woman arrested for silently praying. Now, I want to preface this with a quote from, I think it's Thomas Sowell. He says, "It's so easy to be wrong and to persist in being wrong when the costs of being wrong are funded by others." And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see order followers who are going to arrest this woman for silently praying under an order called a PSPO. Stay tuned. We'll talk about that.
I have to caution you, which is just your rights, which is you do not have to say anything. It may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you later on in court. Anything you do say may be given. What are you here for today?
Physically, I'm just standing here.
Okay. Why here of all places? I know you don't live nearby.
But this is an abortion centre.
Okay, that's why you're stood here. Is you standing here part of the protest?
So just in case you couldn't hear her, she's standing outside of an abortion center.
No, I'm not protesting.
Are you praying?
I might be praying in my head out loud.
So I'll ask you once more, will you voluntarily come with us now to the police station?
Are you praying? I might be praying in my head. So what if you're praying? So what if you're praying in your head or out loud? What does this cop care if she's praying or not? She's just standing there silently. She's standing there peacefully. She looks to be on a public sidewalk. And granted, this is in the UK, so they probably have laws that I'm not aware of. But this woman is not harming anybody. She's not threatening anybody. She doesn't appear to be anyway. It doesn't look like, I've watched this whole video, it doesn't look like there are any reports that she's threatening people or jeopardizing people or putting them in danger. That's all we got right now.
I need to ask you some questions about today and other days where there are allegations that you've broken public spaces protection order.
If I've got a choice, then no.
Okay, well then.
We need to find out. We need to take you down to the police station so we can question you to see if you violated the public spaces protection order. Now, you might be wondering at this point, what is a public spaces protection order? Well, I'll tell you. What is a PSPO? Local authorities were granted powers. That's not good. When you grant, power corrupts, right? If power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, then the last thing you want to do in society is give the authorities and the officials power to introduce something new so they can violate more people's rights. So these authorities were granted powers to introduce public space protection orders, or PSPOs, in 2014 through Section 59 of the Antisocial Behavior Crime and Policing Act of 2014. That just sounds like a smorgasbord and a buffet of tyranny. PSPOs replace previous litigation and introduce wider discretionary powers. What's worse than power? Discretionary power, which is arbitrary power, which means they can make arbitrary edicts and commands and policies and ordinances that you have to follow. And if you don't, they can arrest you, kidnap you, take you down to the authorities' local police station and question you and just completely violate your rights because they said so, because they said you violated this. To deal with nuisances or problems which harm the local community's quality of life. So the springboard of the PSPO is the Antisocial Behavior Crime and Policing Act of 2014, which got a lot of pushback at the time, if I remember correctly. then an order is intended to ensure that people can use and enjoy public spaces, live safely from antisocial behavior. So is praying in your head or even praying, quietly out loud on a public sidewalk where you're not harming anybody, is that in accordance with, not living safely from antisocial behavior? An order will specify an area where activities are taking place that are detrimental to the quality of life of those in the area and can impose conditions and restrictions on people using the specified area. Let's continue.
You're under arrest on suspicion of failing to comply with the Public Spaces Protection Order, which is under the Antisocial Behaviour Crime and Policing Act 2014.
So did you hear that? So it's in accordance with this Antisocial Behavior Crime and Policing Act of 2014, and he's arresting her because he suspects that she violated the Public Space Protection Order. Remember, it's always about protection. Public safety is always the alibi of tyrants like this.
Caution you again, you do not have to say anything. It may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later on in court, anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand the caution?
I do.
Your arrest is necessary in order for the prompt and effective investigation into the offence. What that means is so that I can ask you some questions and also to protect.
I didn't hear all of that, but it sounded like he said your arrest is necessary and effective immediately or something like that.
Vulnerable people, mainly service users of the clinic. Okay, so you'll accompany us now to the police station. You get booked in front of a custody sergeant, and then if you want a solicitor, you can have a solicitor on the limit.
A courtesy sergeant. We're going to arrest you. We're taking away your freedoms. We're basically kidnapping you off a public sidewalk on, kind of a cloudy day here. But we're going to introduce you to our courtesy officer.
Okay. I don't intend to handcuff you, but obviously my colleague will search you because you're going to get into a police car. We'll make sure you don't have anything that you can harm us or you can use to. Okay.
So a female colleague is going to search her, and we're going to do this at 2 times the speed. Not really much is said here, but while we're watching this, while we're watching her, she's going to start searching her hair. It's going to take like a bobby pin out. The reason we're searching is because when you go into the patrol car, we have to make sure that you don't have any weapons that could potentially harm us. So they go through her hair. She pulls a bobby pin out and gives it to this officer right here. Just if this doesn't infuriate you and cause you to want to peacefully demonstrate against it, I don't know what will. And the second observation that I'm going to make is you have 3 human beings right here dressed in black against 1 human being right here. What had to have happened in the life of these individuals right here where they're okay with these actions they're foisting on this lady right here? They know they wouldn't want this done to their mother. They know they wouldn't want this done to their sister or anybody in their family that they love. And yet they're going to do it anyway. And this further enforces what I've been trying to say for years now is laws are nothing more, nothing less than the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of force. And this is where that force comes in, guys, right here. These law enforcers, these order followers, order following, by the way, is the conduit through which most, if not all, evil enters the world because they become conformists. They're not moralists. They don't operate off of a moral compass. They don't get their direction. They don't get their marching orders from doing that which is right. They just do what they're told regardless of what is right instead of doing what is right regardless of what they're told. And the smallest minority, let me remind you, on earth is the individual. And those who deny individual rights cannot claim to be defenders of minorities. They are actually violating, while they're violating this lady's rights right here, they're violating their own rights. They're violating their family's rights. They're violating the rights of everybody that they personally love and care about. That's how checked out they are. That's how hard-hearted they are. That's how conscience-seared they are. So I don't know all the ins and outs. I found this article right here that looks like it's kind of partial to be right-leaning, and I don't really like that kind of stuff because I'd rather have something impartial. But it says, let me pause this right here. Well, they continue to shake this lady down and check her and inspect her and take away her freedoms. Authorities have arrested a pro-life woman for silently praying outside an abortion clinic in the United Kingdom, which, this silent praying, this just standing there is a violation of the PSPO, which is the Public Space Protection Order, which just sounds so ridiculous to me. That'll never be abused. A public space protection order will never be abused by power-hungry psychopaths. Never. News of Isabella Von Spruce's arrest comes amid anxieties over the Justice Department's crackdown on pro-life activities in the United States, such as Mark Hook, a pro-life father arrested for allegedly pushing an abortion clinic volunteer who is reportedly bothering his son as they prayed outside an abortion clinic. Footage published by the Alliance Defending Freedoms shows police confronting Spruce. They're so brave. Who has been charged with breaking a public space protection order for praying silently near an abortion clinic on 4 different occasions in Kings Norton, Birmingham. So here's this lady getting shaken down. It's a shame. And this is what's wrong with America. This is what's wrong with the UK. This is what's wrong with Australia. This is what's wrong with New Zealand, is you have a bunch of order followers who are willing to violate other people's rights, not really realizing, maybe not thinking about, not internalizing the fact that their violation of the rights of others is an indirect violation of their own rights. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up. Share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support further, the Buy Me a Coffee, Subscribe, Star, and Cash app, and or you can grab a hard-hitting conversation-starting design from the store. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.
Subscribe for more tyranny-busting content.